always been dedicated to being a part of the Portuguese national team, which was knocked out of the World Cup a day earlier. That was 2 days before. But he was coy about his future in the national side. The 37-year-old, a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, had arrived in Qatar with a mission to prove he could still make a difference on his national team. He ended the tournament, however, coming on a second half substitute in Portugal's 1-0 qualifier loss to Morocco, after which he left the field in tears. But one man, he did not cry, but maybe made a lot of fans of the Three Lions of England leave Qatar in tears. Losing a penalty against France is none other than Harry Kane, captain of the team, as well, the striker of Tottenham Hotspur. He scored one penalty and they lost the second. Maybe if he had converted that, the game might have gone into extra time and maybe penalty shootout. But he's saying here he has been able to play with a better team at the World Cup for the Three Lions, and he hopes the team gets back to the Global Football Showpiece very soon.
Yeah, I think on the night we was probably the team that created the better chances and have good spells in the game. But as we know, big games come down to fine details, fine margins, and they got theirs right, and we didn't. No, I'm always someone who prepares for if I get one penalty in a game, 2 penalties. So I always have an idea of what I want to do, and I can't fault my preparation or anything like that. The details, it was just the execution on the night. The first one was great, and the second one just didn't quite hit it how I wanted to. So that's something I'm going to have to take on the chin, and it will hurt for sure, and the whole game will hurt because we had full belief in what we were trying to achieve. But as the captain, I'll take that, but I couldn't be prouder of the boys. I'm not worried about the team and how it's going to affect them. I know we got some great talent, and Euros in a year and a half, so for sure it'll hurt, not just for me but for everyone involved, but that's football, that's sport. You have to take that on the chin sometimes and move forward.
Tottenham forward, the Three Lions of England striker Harry Kane speaking there after the loss at the World Cup. Hugo Lloris insists France will need all their strength and all energy when they face Morocco in the World Cup semi-final. Le Bleu became the first reigning champions to reach the last four since Brazil in 1998 after edging out England in a tight quarter-final on Saturday, with Oliver Giroud's late header settling the tie. Well, remember, they will be facing Morocco. And before Kes comes in here now to talk about what we've seen so far, the World Cup, most especially the Three Lions of England being boarded out of the World Cup, and I hope get all these trending things. But let's listen to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, including with his running mate, Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, talking about how Morocco has been able to get to this stage of the semi-final of the World Cup, and what they can also put in place, to make Nigeria, get to this particular feat, maybe when they become the president or vice president of the nation.
It requires encouraging all sectors of the economy actually to invest in sports, not only government, private sector inclusive, public sector inclusive, sub-regional governments inclusive. What I have found in Morocco is that they have provided football playing fields in almost every neighborhood, and you see children from as young as primary school children playing football early in the morning before they go to school, and later in the evening when they return from school. I think we have to encourage that, and it means involving all levels of governments, local government, state government, as well as federal government. All what federal government can do is to make sure that they support some national governments in providing sporting facilities in public places and as well as institutions.
Just last year when we had the 20th National Sports Festival in Edo State, it was supposed to hold in 2020, but had in later. And you find that Edo State government put in a lot of resources, and you find them competing with Delta State. We never really had states who could compete with Delta State. And we eventually at the end did win the first position, but they were a close second. But Bayelsa State took everybody by surprise in this 21st National Sports Festival that just ended yesterday. And they swept through to the second position, although they didn't compete so closely with us because we had a very wide margin. But you saw them overtaking every other state, even overtaking Edo State, because the governor actually did pay a lot of attention to sports, and he actually encouraged a lot of their youth. And we found that those who have been groomed in the last 2 years became so good because they provided them with facilities. So at the end, Delta State still came first, but Bayelsa State now came second.
Okay, well, that was the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, with his running mate, Ifeanyi Okowa. That happens to be the governor of Delta State. Now, I mean, talking about development in Morocco and how we can also develop our sports in Nigeria. But, I mean, I'm not having Ifeanyi Okowa here, but I have Kes here. Good morning to you. Welcome to Kickoff Sports Show.
Yes, good morning, young striker.
Okay, but let's first talk about what we are seeing concerning Morocco, an African country, the first African country to get to the semi-final of the FIFA World Cup. It might have been Ghana in the past few years, but now this is Morocco. Where do you think Morocco is getting the energy from? Are they getting it because, being in an Arabian African country and playing the World Cup in Qatar?
Well, to me, I feel like where Morocco is really getting that energy from to really go surpass beyond expectation had started right from a while back. If you could look at some of their club sites in Africa, how well they are doing in African,
most especially North African countries.
North African countries, especially. You know, they are doing so well in the CAF Champions League, in the CAF Confederations Cup. You know, so they took it up a notch a bit to the national team. You understand? Getting someone that could handle the team very well, and at the same time, their grassroots football is really improving. Their leagues, they are also doing well. I think they really added the style of Europe into their pattern, and they are reaping the benefits right now. So that's why you can see that they are in the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Okay, so we can really say that with what Ifeanyi Okowa and Atiku said is like they are not really hitting what they want to hit, what they should have hit. I mean, making our league better.
Yes.
Talk about the league.
The league is the most paramount thing. If you have a very good league that really understands the game play of every individual out there, definitely it would the country will reap the benefits in the national team.
If it is about reaping the benefits of the national team, now let's talk about what happened to the Three Lions of England. They've got a good league.
Yeah.
You can't compare French League on to the Premier League, but I mean, most of the players in the French national team, it is not everybody that's playing in the French League on. Maybe you talk about Mbappe, you talk about Tchouameni and the likes, but look at what
plays for Real Madrid.
So what we are looking at here is Kimpembe did not go because of injury.
Yeah,
so maybe we look at the only man that is more representing the French League on. But look at what happened to the Three Lions of England. What did Gary Southgate do wrong, or what did the team do wrong in losing that game?
Well, I felt England had a very good game against France. It was a good game, to be honest. There was nothing that Southgate.
Don't tell me, look, because you have Newcastle players in that team. Better. So
how many of them played? That's the question.
But they were invited.
Yeah, they were invited, really, but he didn't really use them. They were on the bench. Callum Wilson just played one game in the World Cup.
He created an assist.
Yeah, he created an assist, which is good for Newcastle anyway. But all in all, I'll give it to Southgate. He really tried in that for the England national team, despite the issues that they had in the Nations League. You understand? They still made an impact getting to the quarterfinals. To me, they just met a better team in France.
You believe that France was better?
Yeah, most especially in the first half. The French side took them, really took on the England national team. It was when the second half came in that the English really came out of their shell, and then they won that penalty. Sorry for Kane, he lost the second penalty. It's one of those things, really.
Yeah,
maybe if that game had gone into extra time, maybe the English would have had a better run. But the French was just better in the long run.
Okay, now, well, we'll be having the semi-finals come tomorrow and Wednesday. Argentina, Croatia, France, Morocco. Pick your teams to the final.
It's a tough call, but I think I'll go for Argentina versus France again.
Okay, Argentina versus France. What if you have Croatia, Morocco?
That would be a very good, a very good one, really. But you know, when you get to the semi-finals, you tend to really now start sticking with the big guns there.
Okay.
So I feel Argentina has a pedigree of a point to prove, most especially for Messi, understand, because it's going to be one of his final buyouts for the national team.
Okay, if your GOAT did not get to the final, or if your GOAT did not get to the semi-final of the World Cup, well, guys, let's go to break. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Shay, you wanna feel that boost? Allow me to introduce Amber energy drink. No more shutting down, we're going up. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around and tell somebody. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around and tell somebody. Say, what are you waiting for? Yeah? Now you can do more because Amber energy drink there for you. Amber energy drink there for you. No need to go too far. You can find it where you are because Amber energy drink there for you. Amber energy drink there for you. Yeah, yeah. Amber there for you. Yeah, yeah. Amber there for you.
Amber energy drink. Stimulate the energy in you.
Oh boy, today was just stressful.
Hey, as in everywhere just choke.
You know what will be really cool right now? Hit me. Feel the vibe, leap for the fun. It's cool like Fun Ice. Call the gang and have some more. That's cool like Fun Ice. With the creamy goodness, oh yeah. Be cool like Fun Ice.
Enjoy the taste of creamy goodness with Fun Ice. Available in vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate.
So you're at your favorite booker and you've ordered rice, shaki, from roundabout, fuku, edo, liver, and croaker. Then you feel you should just top it up with one big, chilled bottle of 7-Up. But something tells you it's too much. Something tells you if people look at your table, they will think you're trying to kill yourself. Bros, please, what is something? Who is something? Are you something? Is something you? Something is only trying to stop you from being you. And that's all. Take this from 7-Up and Fido-Dido. Just sip some 7-Up, face life, and just be you. Because nothing sure pass.
7-Up. Be you. Nothing sure pass. 7-Up. The diff is clear.
Risi, where's your sister?
She's in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah, call her for me.
Baraka, Mommy is calling you.
Hey, Risi, Joe, please buy me chill drink from Dogo.
Dogo, you there outside? I beg, help us bring one chill drink, come.
Risi, sorry, Please check if it's your daddy that's at the door. You that your line had been blocked. How did you get the credit that you're using, Ke?
I linked my NIN to my MTN line and got 20k free airtime.
Yes, so link your NIN to your MTN line today and get 20,000 Naira bonus airtime. Visit any MTN center near you to begin.
Mommy, where are you going?
MTN Experience Center, of course. You think it's only you that like good thing, eh?
Terms and conditions apply.
Reason this matter. Think of Ogbonge football with the greatest them. You fit enjoy Qatar 2022 games in Pidgin, Igbo, Yoruba and Hausa. This jolly now for everybody.
Now so, this now World Football Yakata. Sharp, go get your Go TV decoder, Go Tenor, plus 1 month jolly for 4,900 Naira today. Jolly Yakata.
Union Bank is 105 to celebrate we're giving away another 55 million naira in our Save and Win Pali promo too. That's 105,000 naira for 50 people every month, 500,000 naira for 5 people every quarter, and 5 million naira for one lucky person at the end of the year. To stand a chance, simply save at least 10,000 naira into your Union Bank account every month. If you don't have an account, you can download the Union mobile app or visit the nearest branch to open one. Terms and conditions apply.
Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Welcome back to the Kiko Sports Show on AM Updates, live on Remedy Dial Solutions 939 FM. Check our time right now, it is 9:10. You can watch us live on Facebook, facebook.com/Solutions 939 FM, same as YouTube Solutions 939 FM. Download the app on Google Play Store. Type Solutions 939 FM to click Listen Live and get notifications of all our shows. Now, still talking about the exit at the World Cup, a lot of managerial casualties, came up in Belgium. We got that of South Korea. We got that of Ghana. And there are a lot of reshuffling going down right there, even in Spain as well. And we are also getting updates about what may likely happen. Tite also announced his exit.
Yeah.
And we got updates that they were already tipping Pep Guardiola to be the coach of the Brazilian national team before his extension of contract with Manchester City. But who do you think can really manage Brazil? They've got a lot of stars in that team, and the only team I think they need right now is to lift the World Cup.
Yes, I think that's the next thing for Brazil right now. Because it's been a long time they've last won the World Cup, even been to the semi-finals or finals yet. So I feel that they need someone that has pedigree, finesse, and a real CV that really speaks volume for them to really be their new manager.
If it is about CV, maybe Didier Deschamps after the World Cup, because we also heard rumors that maybe Zinedine Zidane will be coming around to take over the team.
It's very difficult for the Brazilian national team to
get a coach from another nation.
Yeah, from another nation. I think they normally like sticking with their indigenous coaches most of the time. So I won't be surprised if they'll have to go back to an ex-player or a manager in their league to really take the national team to the next level if possible.
Okay,
if need be, I feel that a change should come now because they've tried all of their national teams and they've not really gotten results. So I feel a change should start thinking about it.
Okay, if it's about the result coming very soon. For Ronaldo, he came out to review that. But now let's move away from that and let's talk club football before we talk tennis. But what's Newcastle? What do you expect from Newcastle as soon as the World Cup is over?
Continue the amazing run that they are doing, and hopefully we'll make it to Champions League football next season. It's not funny, we are doing well.
You people are doing well. Mogete. Thank you very much, Ket, for joining me on the show here.
You're welcome.
Still Kiko Sports Show. Let's check more updates this morning as we look at more football stories. As Chelsea suffered 1-0 defeat to Aston Villa in Abu Dhabi as John Mark again scored the only goal of the game, while Amanda Broha was taken off on a stretcher with an injury. Liverpool fell 3-1 in a friendly defeat to Lyon in Dubai Super Cup as former Arsenal striker Alexander Lacazette scored a brace for the league on side. Now, moving away from football, let's talk tennis this morning. It is about hope, it is about building yourself, it is about dream. Carlo Alcaraz has pinpointed Iga Swiatek as a hot shop example to follow as the world #1 looks to successfully defend to top sports in the ATP rankings. Spaniard Alcaraz enjoyed a hugely impressive 2022 season, winning 5 titles, including a first Grand Slam at the US Open. The 19-year-old subsequently became the youngest #1 in the ATP history as well as the youngest player to top the year-end rankings. It has also been a dominating year for Swiatek, who landed 8 titles, including the French Open and US Open, while also embarking on a 37-match winning streak, the longest this century on the WTA Tour, and registering 22 bang-up sets. Well, when you dream and you look at who you need to follow, think of someone who's got a better record. And that is what Carlo Alcaraz is saying. Let's talk about the NBA this morning. Joel Embiid posted another 50-point performance to lead the Philadelphia 76ers past the Charlotte Hornets 131 to 113 points on Sunday. Embiid scored 53 points with 11 rebounds for the Sixers, backing up the league season's best 59 points against Utah Jazz on November 13. The Sixers center joined Allen Iverson and Wilson Chamberlain to become the third player in the franchise history to record multiple 50-point games in the season. Well, let's also look at the story here where Chris Middleton exited the Milwaukee Bucks a shock 97 to 92 point game. To Houston Rockets with a left ankle sprain over the weekend. The 31-year-old All-Star left the game after playing only 6 minutes, where he did not register anything on his statistics line and missed 2 3-point attempts. Okay, now let's check more updates here based on results and what may surely come up in the next couple of games. LA Lakers defeated Detroit Pistons 124 to 117 points in the wee hours of today, as New York Knicks defeated Sacramento Kings 112 to 99 points. Orlando Magic defeated Toronto Raptors 111 to 99 points. As Charlotte Hornets lost against the Philadelphia 76ers 113 to 131 points. In overtime, it was Atlanta Hawks beating Chicago Bulls 123 to 122 points, while Milwaukee Bucks fell against Houston Rockets 92 to 97 points. Remember, games will be going down tomorrow starting 1 a.m. with Indiana Pacers taking on Miami Heat, as Washington Wizards will take on Brooklyn Nets. Memphis Grizzlies will take on Atlanta Hawks by 2 a.m. and 2:30. Dallas Mavericks will be up against Oklahoma City Thunders. San Antonio Spurs up against Cleveland Cavaliers, while by 4 p.m. Portland Trail Blazers will take on Minnesota Timberwolves, and the LA Clippers battling Boston Celtics. Guys, we'll move away from the side this morning as we look at more updates on the show. We'll look at the headlines on pages of Nigerian newspapers and look at what we should also be talking about, more on the burning issue and talking points. You don't go anywhere.
Oh boy, today was just stressful. Hey, as in everywhere just choke.
You know what will be really cool right now? Hit me. Feel the vibe, live for the fun. It's cool like Fun Ice. Call the gang and have some more. That's cool like Fun Ice. With the creamy goodness, oh yeah. Be cool like Fun Ice.
Enjoy the taste of creamy goodness with Fun Ice. Available in vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate.
We all have that one friend that always hides everything from everyone else. Like my guy, Sheon, that got 1 gig free data when he downloaded my MTN NG app. Did he share the gist with us?
No!
But we found out, and even something he doesn't know, that we get up to 2 gig data if we recharge 500 naira or more on my MTN NG app with our debit card.
You don't mean it!
That's not all. We also get 10% extra on every airtime recharge made on my MTN NG app.
Wow!
Will we share the gist with him?
Yes!
That's correct. You get 1 gig free data when you download my MTN NG app. Up to 2 gig when you recharge 500 naira and above with your debit card on my MTN NG app. And 10% extra on every recharge made on the app. So what are you waiting for? Download my MTN NG app today to enjoy. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, here he comes.
Guy, any gist today?
What are we doing today?
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. Where others stop, we start. Join the AM Update team for everything sports, reviews on newspaper headlines, trending topics, exclusive interviews on health, politics, education, security, music, and more on this dial 939 FM. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. AM updates just got better.
Well, it's the 12th day in the 12th month of the year 2022. Christmas is pretty much approaching. I'm super excited about that. Good morning to you, Ibadan. Welcome to From the Dailies, where we take you on a tour on different stories making the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers. My name is Victory Richard.
So it should be 12 ladies dancing, right? On the 12th day of Christmas. 12 ladies dancing.
Why can't 12 guys be dancing?
But we have like the quarter of the 12 now. Here. So 3 guys in the studio.
Right.
Kes is here. Olada Kokuru be here. Victory here. Good morning. I've got the Nation and the Punch newspapers this morning.
All right. With me, the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspaper. Let's begin with the stories this morning. All right, from the Nigerian Tribune, PDP crisis. I am waiting for Wike. I met him 5 times. Atiku. Read up on that story on page 2. That's the banner headline. A rider to that reads, as Autumn Tambor meet, Atiku campaign raises poses over Tinubu's wealth, alleges EFCC bias. Atiku's declaration to sell NMPC asset for $10 billion US, a huge joke. APC, PCC, Tinubu meets Southwest Muslim leaders in Ibadan. More stories from the Nigerian Tribune. Bankers Committee agrees to generate 500 billion naira in loans for exporters annually. Hoodlums on reprisal invade Ondo community. Kill 2 destroys farmlands, burn houses. More stories from the Nigerian Tribune. No PVC, no vote. INEC reiterates. That story you can find on page 3. Cabotage vessel financing fund. Buhari approves 350 million US, 16 billion naira disbursement. 5 banks involved. That story you can find on page 7. Obasanjo, Adebanjo, Obi of Onitsha orders in Enugu for Wodo at 70. Read up on that on page 8. 4 short, many missing as military police raided community twice in 1 month. Amnesty International is making that statement. How NBA can end human rights abuse in Nigeria. Falana, you can read up on that on page 25, says Bar president oppose his suit on monthly detention visit. These and more stories you can find from the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, going straight to Punch newspaper this morning, looking at the cap headlines here. 439 foreign trained doctors failed assessment exam, MDCN. I can't understand Boko Haram phenomenon, says Atiku. 33 states lack landfills, dispose waste openly. That is according to a report from the Punch newspaper. You can get all these headlines. You can get these stories from the page 36, 42, and 16 of Punch newspaper. Looking at the pocket headline this morning, and this brought fear into my heart. Debt service saying to go up 123% of 2023 revenue. The banner headline here says, withdrawal limits will cripple campaign funding, says Parters. I take that headline again. Withdrawal limits will cripple campaign funding, say Parters. And looking at 3 riders to that headline. Parties to right, CBN for waiver, says cashless policy will choke political process, fundraising. If Buhari had no access to funding in 2014, he would never be would never have been president, says PDP. Policy will create logistic problems. Paying party agents nationwide will be difficult. ADC ADP. Okay, we know where we're getting to now. And oil production hits 1.18 million per barrel, highest in 7 months. Okay, so we have front page picture of a Christmas carol of a particular, church. There's no commercial. I mean, I can't pay for commercial for that. And there's another set of headlines here. NNPC raises major oil marketers from 7 to 27. 5 drug dealers caught in notorious Lagos community. This and more you can find from the Punch newspaper.
All right, from the Punch, let's now move to the Vanguard newspaper. Tambuwal visit autumn says PDP crisis, not war of attrition. More stories, of course. No forest in Sambisa. I will handle insecurity scientifically, and that is coming from Atiku. My plans for education, healthcare. Atiku is making that statement. You can find that from the Vanguard as well. I will be fair and just president. I will be fair and just president. I will be a fair and just president to all. And this is coming from Tinubu. More stories from the Vanguard this morning. Labour Party is neither working for nor stepping down for any party. Interesting. Buhari will continue to serve Nigerians until last day in office. This statement is coming from Femi Adesina. FCT bans local chiefs from selling land. That story you can find from the Vanguard as well. Disclose 625 billion naira refund spending. Sarab tells Niger Delta governors. Kick Emefiele out. Huriwa urges NAS. These and more stories you can read up from the Vanguard newspaper.
To the Nation newspaper this morning, the front page, Lekki Deep Seaport promoters shop for $800 million to link rail line. Presidency defends Emefiele over alleged 89.1 trillion naira stamp duty collection. INEC begins PVC distribution today. We can give you a break to go and get your card.
That's
Niger Deltans slam Atiku for sending Okowa to Jonathan. And we have this headline politically. Says nobody can split G5 allies, says Bode George. And it has 2 riders. Tambuwal overture to autumn futile. And I won't vote for Atiku. PDP chieftain vows. Pay salary arrears owed by Aregbesola, Osun workers tell Adeleke. Okay. Now the banner headline this morning says Wike, same faith, not reason to dump South's candidate. With different riders. Tinubu Shetima tickets will be fair to all. I'll rest economy for faster growth, says Tinubu. President drums up support for APC candidates. Ipman to get Petro Direct from NNPCL. With rider all giants in move to end product shortage. The last headline here. NDLEA seizes drugs in powdered milk, baby food at Lagos Airport. This and more you can find from the Nation newspaper this morning. Now going straight to the burning issue here and the talking points. Well, yesterday, presidential candidate and his running mate of the People's Democratic Party, that is Atiku Abubakar and Ifeanyi Okowa, were at the town hall, event, and they spoke on different issues. But I think I will have to start from the back, which goes back to what Nyesom Wike, the G5. Look at the headlines on the Nation newspaper saying nobody can split G5 allies. G5 allies, says Bode Jordan. Wike saying same face, not a reason to dump South's candidate. We don't know what is still going on in PDP, but PDP has moved ahead. But Atiku, you took a particular headline concerning Atiku where he said he met
Wike 5 times.
5 times.
2 times in Port Harcourt, 2 times in Abuja, and 1 time in London.
I have met Wike 2 times in Port Harcourt, 2 times in Abuja, 1 time in London. Personally. It's not on my part. Yeah, it's on the other side. Yeah, I'm waiting.
Waiting for Nyesom Wike, who's the leader of the G5 governors of the People's Democratic Party. So who will make the move? Well, we've been getting different moves so far. Remember, there is this headline talking about someone who went to meet Okowa. Who went to meet Governor Autumn, right? And also sending some people to Jonathan. All right, now still talking about that town hall session. It was I noticed something concerning the articulacy of Atiku. He was asked about product of the petrol and the natural resources, talking about gas. He couldn't talk more than 1 minute, and it was Okowa speaking more. I mean, we saw the presidential candidate and the vice presidential candidate, and that drives me back to what happened at the Chatham House in London, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu, threw or directed some questions to his team. But let's listen to Atiku Abubakar here and Okowa talking about the plans of working well with the natural resources of Nigeria, also how to make Nigeria better.
I believe that we need, before, of course, the end, we need to maximize, our earnings as far as the fossil oils are concerned, to make sure that we get as much revenue as we can get. Of course, we know presently some oil-producing countries like Saudi Arabia, like Angola and others are raking in more money, and while we are not, we have to make sure that we take the best, opportunity of raising more money as far as fossil oils is concerned. But of course, that we have more gas. Is investing in exploitation of more gas resources which we have got, which is the future, of the economy of the world. As far as that is concerned, revenue is concerned. Maybe my vice, who is from an oil-producing part of the country and gas-producing, may also have additional contributions to make.
In addition to what the presidential candidate has said, there is no doubt that while other countries are getting a lot more resource now, which can be used to develop other sectors of the economy, we don't seem to benefit from that. Why? Because we are producing less than what we ought to produce, which ought not to be the case. So there's a need to ramp up the production and the sales. And how do we do with that? We have to deal with the current issues of illegal oil bunkering in the Niger Delta by strong community engagement, by ensuring that we implement the Petroleum Industry Act, which will also cause a community buying into the project. That is very important that we deal with that. Also working with the security agencies and the communities to deal with that aspect. But everything will be done from his program to ensure that there is increased refining of products within Nigeria. And there are prospects to that, because like the Dangote refinery is almost coming to a startup, and we hope that we'll be able to open up space for other greenfield development. But as he did say, the gas sector is actually a sector that we have tended to ignore, because whatever we're doing today, the gas that we're still utilizing is the associated gas, which comes from the production of crude oil. But we have a lot of natural gas deposits, and we have failed. The initial gas development plan that the PDP government in the past put in place, we have not taken further steps to actualize those developments. And that is it.
Well, that's the voices of PDP presidential flag bearer and his potential vice president, Atiku Abubakar and Okowa, speaking about how they intend to utilize our natural resources. However, some of their claims yesterday at the town hall meeting, I don't know if it was misconstrued, because a lot of people raising eyebrows regarding his statement on insecurity or the Boko Haram and Sambisa Forest, how he's unaware about the phenomenon that it is, and also making statements about selling, our refineries for $10 billion US, more like saying it's going to privatize, the refineries. People are not so much having it. But hey, we'd love to know your take as well on some of these stories. We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube at facebook.com/solutions93.9. You can also join us on WhatsApp by sending in your messages via WhatsApp or regular text to 0904 422 2939. 0904 422-2939. Shortly, the phone lines will be open for you to call in and let us in on your thoughts regarding the state of the nation.
Okay, talking about what Atiku said concerning the Sambisa forest, maybe some statements may be, regarded as political statement, but we all know the situation of the country, that the state of insecurity. And part of the things I also heard yesterday was more of privatizing, bringing private investors. I mean, they were asked about the health system, the health sector. If Atiku and Okowa will be using Nigeria's health system, most especially using hospitals in the country. And the boss stylishly, ignored that part. And what I heard Atiku say was that they will allow private investors, to invest in the health system, the health sector of the country. And no one is saying that, okay, I will never travel out for a medical checkup, and if the presidential candidate is shying away from this, so what should we be expecting? They spoke about sports as well, and it's more of bringing the private sector to also invest in sports sector. So if there is no pathway or saying, no, this is the amount that will be invested by the federal government when I come in, even for privates would just be like icing on the cake. Why are we always depending on private sector to help the nation?
Well, these are some of the stories we'll be tackling this morning. I'll also wait to be joined by our analysts. I remember there's another major story making the round about Hariwa asking for, the sack
of CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele,
regarding the new
withdrawal
policy. I was listening to someone this morning who is, he operates a POS business, and he was telling me that he actually likes the policy because according to him, or his location, that he doesn't have people come withdraw more than 20,000 a day. I'm surprised because I know that I have done more than 20,000. So I think it's peculiar to
it depends.
The location that you're in, or what people. Yes, location is very key.
Yeah, it's key. Also, we look at the amount. The POS operator has, or what he gets in a day, and the interest he gets from the bank, he's connected with. You understand? So that is also part of the. I mean, if you listen to the special reports we had over the weekend, which was more of what the reaction coming from people, from POS operators as well. Some of them will always want you to withdraw more. I know how much I spent last week withdrawing, based on a particular job. And, there are times that I will always calculate, okay, if I'm withdrawing 150,000 naira, for example, that means I have to pay close to 1,000 naira plus, to get from a PS operator. And if the PS operator is getting 1,000 naira from me personally, and not now thinking of the interest coming from the bank, this is how people make money. And we keep looking at how Nigerians can see things in a positive way, how Nigerians can also make money, not only people working in the federal government ministry. So another thing I was thinking of this morning is, do you think Godwin Emefiele is smarter than other leaders of different sectors?
The National Assembly,
I mean, most especially even ministers.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is regulate the cash flow in Nigeria. There's also been speculations making the rounds that the reason for this is also to curb vote buying, because apparently people who receive money at polling units receive money in cash, not via transfers.
Well, I think this has improved. In Osun State, it was transfers.
Oh, well, you were there, so you could tell that.
So
I guess that's the reason for whatever the case may be. I think the major aim is basically to limit. Withdrawal limit will cripple campaign funding, says parties. So now parties are coming to say it's going to hoard, their logistics process. So I can understand why they're making statements, and that's why the human rights organization is calling for the sack of Emefiele, saying, and according to them, he's been arrogant. He doesn't consider all the sectors of the country.
Let's talk about the arrogancy here. He was in Daura last week, and remember during the redesigning, when the story of the redesigning of the 200. 500, 1,000 naira notes, came up. The finance minister came out to say that she wasn't aware, she wasn't carried along. The finance ministry was not carried along. And, before calling Jack we heard Mr. President had already given his say to CBN to go ahead. So when I'm talking about the smartness of Emefiele is he knows the right time to meet Mr. President. He just goes straight to Mr. President. He's not answerable to anybody.
It brings back the question if this is the right time for, this withdrawal limit policy, being that the technology that we have in this country doesn't favor this policy. As much as it is a good policy, it doesn't favor people, because these days you do transfers and sometimes it bounces back. Do you understand? So people will be affected, businesses would be affected. So with the kind of technology that we have now, is this the right time to pursue this course? Lots of people say maybe after the election, but I think it's questionable if you're telling me after the election
that they will reverse the plan. But let's also look at this from this angle. Few days back, we heard a report here where a POS operator was murdered, got his money taken from him, was shot. And that wasn't the first time that POS operators, will be attacked when they get trailed from banks
because they have cash.
Because they have they have banks with cash with them. So maybe also saving lives of POS operators. But how much do you think a POS operator will have in his his coffers to be able to give you cash? And how many pepper seller, fish seller, oil seller will want to say, I want to be running transfers? So these are the things we need to look at here. But looking at the smartness and what Horua is saying, well, maybe Horua may have their point, but maybe CBN governor will also have his point. I mean, you look at how much that was in the vault. He complained about we have more money in circulation than the money they have in the vault. Now we are producing the new Naira notes. In the next few days, it will be it has been distributed to banks. So in the next few days, people will start having a new Naira note. But how much will you have? Another thing is having the lowest currency in your pocket.
But within the time frame that the circulation will start and the hoarding of the old Naira note, do you think that the money would have circulated to everybody so much so that it can be for use?
We also need to ask bank operators as well. I mean, it starts with mint. When was the last time you spent mint consistently?
I mean, the only time I even get to see mint is when I go for weddings and this guy
you have to buy
money.
Mint. Tunde spent 20-something thousand naira to get.
It was ridiculous.
27,000 naira to get 20,000 naira. I said 200 naira mint. At the last event we went for. And if you want to get 10,000 naira, which is 100 naira, mint, you have to spend like 3,000 naira to get 10,000 naira. So I think CBN should also look at that angle. These people selling new Naira notes, where did they get the Naira notes from? Who are these people, giving out this Naira notes?
Absolutely.
I mean, it should be easier for me to approach the ATM to withdraw mint. And, we're talking about, do not deface the Naira, do not squeeze the Naira. I mean, when we keep getting mint, we can easily spend mint. If I give you mint, you can easily save it. I mean, it has gotten to our subconsciousness that when I have mint, there's a way I place it in my pocket. But that's right.
Well, this morning. These are some of the stories we'll be addressing this morning. But of course, we won't let it slide without having your take. You can call into the studio and let us in on your thoughts. We've been able to talk about, the CBN withdrawal limit policy, which political parties are saying will cripple campaign funding. Also spoke about the town hall meeting with Atiku and his vice presidential candidate. And more stories, of course, that you would love to address. The numbers to call are 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. You can send us a message via WhatsApp or regular text to 0904-422-2939. We are also live on Facebook, so jump on the platform and do well to send in your messages on there as well. So there's been a lot of questions around political structures for Labour Party and other parties, but I'm wondering for PDP, who has been in existence for over a decade, they're having issues with structure, because as it is now, I can't say that there's a structure with the PDP. Let's take this call and find out what our caller has to say. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Kemi calling from Akubo.
Great to have you, Kemi.
truly the cashless policy is the way to go. If we actually want to curb vote buying, because we all knew what happened in Ekiti State and Osun State, it was vote buying galore. People were selling their votes based, not minding the consequences, not minding the outcome, simply because there is high rate of poverty in the land. But if this cashless policy will curb corruption, if it will curb money laundering and vote buying, it is the best way to go, as long as this policy has positive effects, implications on our economy. But my fear is, will it not affect those in rural areas and render some youth jobless? We all know that at the moment, the rate of poverty and unemployment under this current administration at the federal level is nothing to write home about. In fact, according to UN, hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, according to UN, United Nations, it said 40 million of Nigeria are illiterate. This should be a slap on this nation. If by now we still have such figure, being illiterate, should it be like that? Sincerely, we are missing it in this nation.
Thank you very much, Kemi, for your contribution this morning. 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Ayodele from Malakia.
Ayo, thank you for joining us this morning. Let's have your take.
Yeah, the only thing in life that is constant is change. But here in Nigeria, we like to complain. There's no perfect policy anywhere around. This cashless policy is the best way to go. In advanced countries, you don't move cash around anyhow. So here people complaining about people in the rural area, we the elite are the ones supposed to be even enlightening them more. And where is NOA, National Education Agency? Where are they? What are their functions? You cannot continue with the analog way of if really we want to develop as a nation. Those advanced countries started from somewhere. Let's change.
But Ayo, if you see the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, it is more of reaction coming from political parties. Like, why is this coming at this time? I mean, why has CBN not come up with this in January? Last January.
This policy rejects money politics. That's why they're making more talk about now. Let's implement it to be better. We need to sanitize our.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I think it makes a valid point, because if there's anything about Nigerians, we know how to adapt.
Complain.
Yes. No, we complain and we know how to adapt to situations. So change is constant.
Okay. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939.
I think another thing is about the government being sensitive. I mean, there are times that you have to look at the current situation before pushing out a policy. Okay, what does the data say about the the poverty level of Nigeria? That should also be looked into, before coming up with some policies as well.
Good morning to you. Okay. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Kenny calling back from Akuba.
Okay.
The shameful thing that Nigeria gets now hit 44 trillion naira. How do we expect such nation to develop? A nation battling with the debt of the whole 44 trillion naira. We keep borrowing to service our debt. We cannot grow, we cannot develop when we keep doing that. We are not a producing nation. We are a consuming one. We even barely consume what we produce locally. The economic situation of this nation is becoming unbearable to the masses. Will it be like that? Things are not getting easier. Things are getting tougher. Showing on the right side. Insecurity on the high side, inflation on price of food and items in the market is not friendly at all. Even the amount we transport ourselves from one place to another is getting too much. Yes.
Okay.
The government is not ready to address this issue. All until we stop practicing mono economy. We diversify our economy and we even fight corruption before we can begin to get it right. Else, we will keep ranting. Nothing will change. Good morning, Kemi calling from Akobo.
Good morning, Kemi. Thank you very much for that, for that thought. Hello, good morning. Okay, I guess we're having issues with the network.
0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. We're talking about how the withdrawal limit might cripple campaign as well as small businesses, as a lot of people say it will affect those in the rural area. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Great to have you. Where are you calling us from?
From Olumi.
Okay.
The withdrawal limit will triple the campaign funding. So I think that is the major reason why the cash withdrawal limit was introduced. Anyway, it is a good development, but we must be ready to change our way of doing things in Nigeria and change our mindset, because money has replaced many political parties' manifestos. See, this is the best way to vote for our conscience in the coming general election, for competent and visionary leaders without selling our vote. Maybe we are going to get it right in this coming general election. So we can't continue like this.
All right.
Okay, before you go, when do you plan getting your PVC?
Hello, I can't hear you.
When do you plan getting your PVC? Do you have your PVC or did you register the last time?
I have it already.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Well, look forward to see you at the polls. You would recall that INEC said the collection for PVC commences today. So if you've registered, this is the time for you to go to your local government areas to go get your PVC.
Yeah.
Good morning to you.
Morning. What's your name?
I'm Bosse from Ulude.
Great to have you, Bosse.
Thank you. Hi,
We're good. Please try increase the volume of your voice.
Okay.
Right.
I'm trying to speak on this policy. I think I support the idea of the cashless policy, especially as it is targeted towards causing corruption in Nigeria. Because we all already know that corruption is already the language people speak in Nigeria these days, and it is not supposed to be. We are all known, both locally and internationally, for corruption. This is not meant to be. So now, for me, I think it is a good idea. But the problem is, I think Nigeria is not yet developed enough to that level where we introduce this cashless policy. Just because of the there are small-scale businesses. A lot of people are involved in small-scale businesses due to poverty in Nigeria. So the federal government should please see to it any other way they can come and be of age to these people so that it will not make unemployment to be now be increased again, and you know what that results to in Nigeria. Already we are suffering terrorism in diverse ways. So if unemployment adds to what is at hand, then in fact it will be another issue of concern.
Okay.
So, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
A lot of people have been talking about unemployment, and I really want to know, how that affects, the policy. Is it because of the POS business? Because POS can still very much operate without, the cash policy, as it were. So I would love to know. And secondly, I would like us to, let's go back to the headline, the Punch newspaper, and look at some of the riders there. Parties to write CBN for waivers says cashless policy would choke political party fundraising. And now it's saying if Buhari had no access to funding in 2014, he would never have been president. And this is coming from the PDP. Now, my
Our policy will create logistic problems. Paying party agents nationwide will be difficult. ADC, ADP. Now, is it about politics now? But let's look at the generality of Nigeria. If it is only about politics, and Emefiele came out to say that this policy wasn't targeted at any body.
So an uncle of mine, we were talking over the weekend about this particular issue, and he said in his 50 years of living, this is the first time in Nigeria where one policy is not just going to affect the poor masses, but it's going to affect everybody. Because everybody's involved in this equation right now, which is somewhat a good thing. But he's also doubting that, or he's saying, according to him, that there's also a possibility that, those at the top might still have preferential treatment when it comes to this cash withdrawal policy.
So if it is a waiver, maybe waiver for those going into election.
That's what they are proposing. That's what the party members of political parties are proposing.
But we're yet to hear from APC as a party. Remember, Godwin Emefiele was also part of the people who came out to say they want to run for the office of the president. Remember?
Yes.
And if this is coming from CBN, is this not like targeted towards other parties?
Well, we never can say.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah, this is calling from Malacca.
Great to have you, Ruth.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the cashless policy is a good one. But the withdrawal limit, if the CBN can increase it a little bit, because it will affect the common man. Who can 30,000 naira buy in this economy? I can't even take 20,000 naira to market. I can't even see what I even buy.
But that's why they're saying you can do a transfer.
Yes, but I've put all those issues in place, like the networks. Even the level they even charge on each transfer much. If I want to do transfer now, they used to deduct 20 naira to another bank. 20 naira is something. So if they can remove it, so we surely embrace this policy. We surely embrace it. So, but for the politicians party that they are complaining, if this can stop the corruption between these political parties, I think this is we surely get there. So the nation will really get to where we are hoping for. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Ruth. I mean, Ruth has a point there. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you. What's your name?
Ronke. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling
From Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have your take. Let's go.
I want to react to the debt service of
Okay.
Nigeria, according to the World Bank. So if 23% of our revenue will be used in servicing debt, then it means the country the current debt federal government will have to borrow to service debt and borrow to fund frivolities as usual. So this simply means Naira will grow weaker against the dollar. If 1,500 Naira to $1, if 1,500 Naira to $1, that would be 1,500 to $1. So I wish for Nigeria, so the current federal government to try and curb the excessive borrowing.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. It's more of now, curbing excessive borrowing, by the federal government. I mean, looking at the headline, debt servicing to go up 123% of 2023 revenue.
But I don't even think that the next administration coming wouldn't even have a choice. They would have to borrow to fund. That's just as sad as it is.
And I don't know who will take over the government of Nigeria, use his money, to pay for things.
The question is, does the person even have the money? Just an individual right now. Yes, I know that we have, wealthy men in billions here. But like you said, I don't think one person would be willing to make such a sacrifice.
Okay, what if you're willing to make sacrifices? You dip money into your pocket, to pay. How do you get back? That's another question. Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
I'm coming from Nigeria.
Great to have you.
Concerning the debt servicing. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
It is obvious that the federal government did not prepare for the good governance of this country, because this shows that they have no political will to govern this country. Because if they have this political will, they would have done the needful in the first place. Because if you see how we are experiencing economic growth, by having the prices of commodities clearing up every day, and they not do any policy that will relieve the care of the city. Therefore, I'm watching the situation of Nigeria. And they should find a way to relieve in pain and hardship. And anything about the entity by providing anti-support.
Maybe you would have to send us a message. We're really struggling to hear you. Let's check out some of the messages you've sent to us on Facebook. Oluwaseun Root is saying, good morning. The introduction of withdrawal limit is a good development because this will reduce the rate of corruption among the politicians who buy votes with money. This really shows that we are getting there as a nation because we cannot continue on the path of corruption and expect any good results.
Okay, Abiola Motosha Adeleke says Nigeria debt hits 44 trillion naira under Buhari. The debt is not much for a country, but the issue is that the money is not being used judiciously. Despite the borrowings, nothing has changed in Nigeria. Just hope the APC administration won't use Naira and Nigeria to service debts before leaving in 2023 instead of stabilizing the economy and fix the power sector. Coupled with other sensitive sector, they keep on borrowing without anything meaningful to show for it. Remember the Abacha loot.
I mean, there's a lot of money.
What have we done with it?
The EFCC keeps recovering a lot of money.
Yes, a lot of money. And, I think there was an issue this year about the Abacha loot, and which was diverted into construction of roads. And, before the money came, does that mean that, okay, if there was no Abacha loot, where do we get money? We keep borrowing. Okay, let us see if we can squeeze in one or two calls before we wrap up this morning, this particular segment, because we're moving to Solutions Clinic in the next few minutes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm Sharif calling from Manala.
Your name again?
I'm Sharif calling from Manala.
Ahmed Sharif, thank you for joining us. Let's go.
Ramon Sharif, not Ahmed Sharif.
Oh, Ramon Sharif.
Sulaiman.
Oh,
Sharif.
Sulaiman Sharif. Okay.
From what you have said so far, you two say that the current federal government of today are not sincere with us. Apart collecting Abacha loot several, even more than 3 times what I read. See, there's no crime in borrowing. If you want to borrow, you must be able to spend it judiciously and spend it on capital expenditure, not your current expenditure. Because don't forget, this country, we know our major problem. Even our leaders know. But before this federal government of today came on board, I think they made 12 trillion on grant. In the past 7 years now, from what you read, that's 44 trillion. That means if I ask them, if they can pinpoint what the 1 or 2 things that they use this money for, half of it is Abuja train and the train from Kaduna to Abuja. Don't forget that the insurgency is one that stopped them working since March, before they embarked last week. So the major problem we have of today is that if we have some people that they don't understand the nitty-gritty about the economic policy to be able to make this country to be in a productive way, they can't get it right. Because all the money that they are just borrowing, instead of them to make it in a productive way, they are just consuming. How do you borrow money to pay salary? Even in Lagos State, they borrow money. According to the name I read maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe Lagos borrowed 707 billion, and we can see what they use money for in that Lagos. Even in Oyo State, they also borrow money, and we can pinpoint 1 or 2 things they use money for in Oyo State. So the federal government of they are not sincere. We got a call from them. My own point this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll just take the last message here. Omade Adekunle is saying there is no doubt that APC government has spoiled the festive period for Nigerians by having us to experience economic woes in the country, where the prices of fuel, food items and other essential commodities are soaring up to unbearable cost. And the Minister of Information was saying the other time that there is no food security, or there is food security in Nigeria, where the average Nigerian could not cater for their daily consumption. This is a glaring arrogance in failure. This implies that the federal government does not care about the well-being of the masses.
Okay, from this part, we'd like to, drop the anchor on the show this morning from the Daily's Corner. this morning. Remember, the AM update still continues with Victory Richard, the doctor, this morning, where we'll be looking at, solutions clinics. What are we looking at this morning?
So this morning we're going to be talking about the female genital mutilation. The 25th of November commenced the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. It's an international campaign, to speak about or the elimination of violence against women and the girl child. So today we're also going to be lending our voices in that regard. It ended on the 10th of December, but I want to also use this avenue to speak about, female genital mutilation, because even with the era and season that we're in, the time that you think that a lot of people are more informed about, the consequences it has to the health of women, you still have people practicing it, and it's not just happening in rural communities, even in our urban areas.
Civilized communities too.
It's happening. So we're going to be talking about that this morning.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Oladapo Okunubi.
One more time, your PVCs are ready for collection.
Yep.
Go get them. My name is Victory Richard.
Your vote is your conscience. Your vote is the change you want. Say no to vote buying. This message is from your Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM.
Reason this matter. Think of Ogbonge football with the greatest them. You fit enjoy Qatar 2022 games in Pidgin, Igbo, Yoruba and Hausa. This jolly now for everybody.
Now so, this now World Football Yakata. Sharp, go get your Go TV decoder, Go Tenor, plus 1 month jolly for 4,900 naira today. Jolly Yakata.
Sure, you wanna feel that boost? Allow me to introduce Amber Energy drink. No more shutting down, we're going up. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around and tell somebody. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around and tell somebody. Say, what are you waiting for? Yeah, now you can do more because I'm buying a big drink there for you. I'm buying a big drink there for you. Don't need to go too far. You can find it where you are because I'm buying a big drink there for you. I'm buying a big drink there for you. Yeah, I'm buying there for you. Yeah, I'm buying there for you.
Amber Energy Drink. Stimulate the energy in you.
Words are powerful, but even more powerful is when they are backed by action. Which is why at Keystone Bank, we don't just say you are important. We show you how important you are to us by providing you with simple and innovative banking technology that hit home. From our online banking and mobile app to our *7111# platform to our super fast loan services and so much more. In Keystone, you'll find a refreshing approach that takes banking from being bearable to pleasurable. Experience customer dedication and refreshing innovation that go beyond words with Keystone. Keystone Bank. We grow together.
What do we mean when we say ground on level? Now say as you dey hustle, you dey flex join. You dey enjoy yourself with what you get for hand. Now why you fit cool body with the Wazo bottles, 7up, Mirinda and Pepsi 35cl for just 50 naira. No matter your choice, so fasten a 35cl glass bottle on our Wazo, because when we say ground on level, we mean because on our Wazo.
Enjoy chilled refreshment with the Wazo bottles, 7up, Mirinda, and Pepsi 35cl glass at 50 naira only. Ground on level with the Wazo bottles. All now Wazo.
The season of giving, it don't show again. The
for you. Oh, from Golden More. Good times don't come again with Golden More. Good times don't come. There's nourishment for the family. Delicious Golden More. Enjoy 10% more this season.
Every 800-gram pack of Golden More you buy this season, they come with 10% extra free. That now more value and more nutrition for the same price. Offer valid while stock lasts. Nestle. Good food, good life.
My mama tell me say she want carry me go buy biscuits. That's so she carry me go one old mama house. The way the old mama cut me, child, I still dey imagine the pain as it weak me for body. My mama said na to make sure say I know they follow boys anyhow. I wonder how it take enter waka with boys matter. I wonder. Circumcision don't cause me plenty health palava, and I don't go even wish my enemy pikin to suffer with I don't suffer. Child.
My country people, circumcision no good at all. You know if you stop girl to dey follow man then. You know if it help woman to find pikin born. In short, inside the over 20 million Nigerian girls and women we don't suffer circumcision, many of them they also suffer health palava, plus including pain when they want menstruate, peace, born, or even when time reach to enjoy themselves with their man for other room, whether in a local place or for inside hospital. Circumcision they very bad and dangerous, and you no get anything good way they do for body. Make we join hands. Stop circumcision today. Now AC Health Initiative through its Stop Cut project where they funded by United Nations Trust Fund to end violence against women. Bring una this message.
We all have that one friend that always hides everything from everyone else. Like my guy, Sheon, that got 1 gig free data when he downloaded my MTN NG app. Did he share the gist with us?
No!
But we found out, and even something he doesn't know, that we get up to 2 gig data if we recharge 500 naira or more on my MTN NG app with our debit card.
You don't mean it!
That's not all. We also get 10% extra on every airtime recharge made on my MTN NG app.
Wow!
Will we share the gist with him?
Yes!
That's correct. You get 1 gig free data when you download my MTN NG app. Up to 2 gig when you recharge 500 naira and above with your debit card on my MTN NG app. And 10% extra on every recharge made on the app. So what are you waiting for? Download my MTN NG app today to enjoy. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, here he comes.
Guy, any gist today?
What are we doing today?
It's the best way to end the year with the kids in the city of Ibadan. Watch out for the biggest Kiddies End of the Year party, powered by your Remedy Radio Dial 93.9 FM.
Tell me, are you ready?
If it isn't headache, malaria, tuberculosis, hypertension, COVID-19, then it's something else. It is just a lot. One can't even keep up. How do I escape coming down with these health problems? I am not even a doctor.
Worry no more. The Remedy Dial has got you covered. Tune to Solutions Clinic every Monday from 10:15 a.m. with Vic Riches and get updated on health talks. Remember, a healthy life is your ticket to wealthy life.
Yes, I'm Rinke Olutayo. I'm UNICEF FGM consultant for Southwest. Female genital mutilation, like I said, it's an Afro-traditional practice and it is entrenched in social norm. It is actually a procedure that involves the partial and total removal of female external genitalia for non-medical reasons. And of course, before we know it, that it has great consequences.
Well, it's still a beautiful morning right here on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9. It's exactly 23 minutes gone past 10, and this is another edition of Solutions Clinic where we get to talk about everything and anything health. My name is Victory Richard. Alright, the last couple of days was earmarked as days of activism against gender-based violence. Advocating human rights activists all over the world began campaigns against the widely disturbing trend. FGM, that's female genital mutilation, is an age-long tradition highly prevalent in Africa, with Nigeria ranking third in the prevalence rate. Globally, over 200 million women are victims of the unwholesome practice, and 20 million of such women are in Nigeria. It is stark female circumcision, but doctors say it is a mutilation of diverse parts of the female genitals, resulting to deep medical crisis that leaves nothing to be desired about the practice. Today we're going to be talking about the significance and consequence of this disturbing act, and of course the significance of this activism that commenced 16 days ago. Joining me in the studio this morning is Chief Owolabi Abayomi. He's from the Hensi Health Initiative of FGN. I also have Dari Olagoki Adaramoye, Executive Director, Trailblazer Initiative Nigeria, and Oyo State Lead Team, UNICEF, and FGM Youth Advocacy. Good morning to you, sirs.
Good morning.
Great to have you join me.
It's a pleasure.
All right. So we begin the conversation with, the 16 days for the activism of to end gender-based violence. Let's start with you, sir, Dari Olagoki. What is the significance of this particular movement?
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, listeners at home, and thank you for having us. The significance of 16 Days of Activism, it's a day from November 25th to 10th of December that is being celebrated annually to sensitize people on the need to abandon or eliminate the gender-based violence against our women most of the time. And so when we talk about gender-based violence, a whole lot of things are entrenched in it, because a whole lot of people believe when you talk about gender-based violence, it has to do with a man beating a woman or people beating each other. No, there are so many other things. So when we say gender-based violence, it's a broad subject, and so it's something that has to do with you taking the right of one gender for another. And so that is where the issues like FGM comes in, because FGM is actually something that is being done to affect the sexual reproductive right of women, as the case may be. So it's done for so many reasons, but I believe we'll get there.
Absolutely. All right, thank you for that brief introduction. And now that you already mentioned, the FGM and what it is, I was speaking earlier to my colleague talking about how it's even more prevalent in, areas where you would think that people are educated as opposed to the rural areas. Let's go over to you, Chief Owolabi.
Yes, welcome.
All right. Let's talk about the female genital mutilation. What it is actually. I think some people practice it, but they don't know what it is. Is that even true?
Yes. A lot of people practice it for so many reasons that they don't know the consequence of that act or practices. Or they thought is like, for example, is a tradition, or for religion's sake, or for aesthetic reason, or which are not. Like I said, female genital mutilation is a partial or total removal of the external female genital reproductive system for non-medical purposes. That is, doing female genital mutilation has no benefit whatsoever. Rather, it leaves the person with at risk for the rest of his life, if not death. So, like we said, primarily why people practice female genital mutilation is just because of me that you'll be promiscuous, and that is nothing but a pure lie. For we know, when a child is well trained, in every manners, we know definitely it's not going to be promiscuous, and the reproductive system doesn't work with you cutting any part of the body. Just like when we are small. Then they said, no, don't give them meat, don't give them fish, because we'll be stealing. That was the thinking then. Knowing that this God, so a lot of us has what they call this kwachok or pot belly then. Until you have to come and say, you have to be giving these people protein, animal protein, plant protein, and other thing. So some people thought that, cutting the genital female that's a lie. Like, for example, we have data to show for that. the Jebu people don't cut at all. And you don't tell me the Jebu people are promiscuous. Nobody can tell me that. Right? So it's just for a wrong reason. It's just a miss. And we have come to a understanding that, in fact, this female genital mutilation came about through contact with external trading. It wasn't in our culture. It wasn't in our own cultural practices, because we've met these traditional people and they said they don't circumcise at all. So how do we arrive about female circumcision? So it's about when our fathers were going for trading and they went out going for pilgrimage, they come in contact with people circumcising their female children, and that's why they brought it. And they were thinking, if we could do the same, probably the children would not be promiscuous. Is a lie. Another thing is, if a girl or a woman is not circumcised, by the time she's giving birth, the child may die. Not is a pure lie. Like I said, if it is true, then we will have nobody in Ijebu today. So it's a pure lie. The other reason is that they thought the female genital organ will grow equal as the main organ, the clitoris, especially the clitoris. And like we said, it's just a myth. A lot of people are not caught. And no.
Oh, this is a revelation to me. So it will grow like the male organ.
Yeah,
people say that.
The assumption. Yeah, that was their belief.
Wow.
Yes.
It's something that is entrenched in myths and so many misconceptions. And so people with medical condition say technically illiterate, people who don't have the knowledge of what it is, and then they just believe. So if this thing is not caught, the clitoris will grow to the size of a penis, and then there will be competition between the male and the female of the penis. So you can see how crude it is, and that is why it's now becoming a gender-based violence.
Absolutely.
Issue. Okay, so do we cut male reproductive parts because of the women? No, but women's private parts are being cut because of men.
And the most important thing, we men are the receiving hand.
Yes.
How so?
Oh, thank you. From our studies and program, we'll see a lot of men complaining that they do not enjoy their wife. They endure not enjoying marriage, especially during sex. We have to be frank. Men, we want more than food. Yes, we really want more than food. And, when it comes to this issue, in fact, I was in a Obomo show, and a man came and said he married another woman because her wife told her, look, sex is just for baby. It's not for any other thing. She had no choice than to marry another woman. And why are they not really enjoying their sex? It's because, they have cut or they have removed some parts of the reproductive, like for example, the clitoris. The clitoris are the functions. The clitoris is to lubricate, the vagina
and
during
also
sex.
to
But already,
assist the women
yes,
to have sexual satisfaction.
So you have cut it already. The lubrication will not be there. The satisfaction will not be there. She has lost the sensitivity.
Yeah, and
so
then they will say, "Oh,
they will say, yeah, she just
there like a log of wood.
Like a log of wood.
She's not responding.
So I discovered later that that's why they say men we are not promiscuous, because we don't get satisfied with the one we have at home, and probably you want to.
We hear women complaining more often about the need for satisfaction as opposed to men. Yeah, I know men do complain that, sometimes they have women stay on bed like log of wood, but you have more women saying they don't get satisfied during that. Is that as a result of...
Yes, it may be as a result of female genital mutilation. Okay, so let's look at the primary functions of these organs that are being tampered with during FGM. So there are three major organs. We have the clitoris, we have the labia minora, and the labia majora. Okay, so all these organs have their own functions. Okay, so for the clitoris, just like Chief has said, it's there to help lubrication and also to help women assist sexual satisfaction. Note the word assist, then the sexual satisfaction. So for a man, there is a point where you get to that you get sexual satisfaction, and it is at that point that a man ejaculates, and then after that you are good. So for a woman as well, there is this organ that helps her to reach that particular place. Most women don't even know what is called orgasm. Okay, so that is what the clitoris does. You now have the labia minora and the majora that is there like lips to protect the openings under the woman. We are on here, so I'm just trying to not to say some things because you wouldn't know who might be listening at home. Okay, so it's there to protect the opening, the orifices under the women. Okay, so these are the three major organs that are being cut away. Okay, so when you cut the clitoris, what have you done to that woman? So for some people, a part is cut away, just little, like some people will say. For some people, they will cut away the whole clitoris. And after being cut, they will even shave the labia minora and the majora alongside with it. For so many reasons, like Chief Owolabi has said. Okay, so for you hear people say for cosmetic reasons, if the labia minora and majora are not cut away, that part will not be beautiful. Some people believe the clitoris, if it touches the head of a baby, the baby will die during childbirth. Some believes it will compete. Some say if it's there, it will be something. Okay, so for some people in the community, you will even hear, let me use their language now. They will say that thing will be doing wiri, that it will be calling men, come and have sex. That thing that if the clitoris is not cut. So, like he said, the origin has been traced to Egypt. And so during slave trade and every other trade, people, because of immigration, you go and you come back, then you take some ideas they take from you, and so we begin to justify what is not. And so for the women now, when a man is circumcised, okay, so what comes out is the crown. And so for men, we know where we actually feel that sensitivity during sex, which is that crown that is being opened when a man is circumcised. Okay, so for the woman as well, the clitoris is there to help you achieve this and enjoy or reach sexual satisfaction. So when it is gone, for the man that has his own organ intact during sex, before you know it, it's already at the promised land. And so the woman is still a very long way to go, because what will help her enjoy or achieve that sexual satisfaction has been taken away. So the woman is there looking like, okay, so I came across a research that even says FGM could be the reason why so many women are promiscuous.
Yes.
Because, okay, so now you've been circumcised, and then so it takes a longer time for you to achieve sexual satisfaction. And then the man is circumcised, so he has his own organ intact. He reaches the promised land maybe in 5-10 minutes. And then so for the woman, when the man is done, the woman is still there expecting more. So for such a woman, she might believe that this man has a problem and then want to try another person.
So he gets the 1 minute man conversation.
Say, my own fire is the type that cooks Indomie. In 2 minutes I'm done. Maybe Chief can cook yam. And so this woman is beans. And so you keep looking for the fire that can cook beans. You know, it's not the man in this case. So it's the woman. Yes. And like he said, if you look at those days, okay, so I've come in contact with influential leaders, stakeholders in communities, and then you see when it's time for them to come out to actually talk, to confide in you and really open up, they will tell you that the reason why most of them have 3, 4, 5, 6 wives in those days is just because of sexual satisfaction. Okay, so these women has been mutilated. They have been desensitized, as the case may be. Okay, so a man wants it for pleasure or whatever, not for childbirth as the case may be. But most of our mothers in those days is just for childbirth because the sensitivity is gone. The pleasure with these things are gone with mutilation. And so you want to have 3, 4, 5. So if you knock at this person's door tonight, if she didn't open, at least somebody will open the door. And then, you know, That's why they have as many as possible. But you will hear people say it's because of famine, it's because of this. So one night chief even told me, okay, so if you want to bear children now for farming purpose, it will take at least 10 years for a boy or a girl to mature, to even go to farm and do whatever you need to do in the farm satisfactorily. So that means you will wait for 10 good years. So will you not eat for 10 years? So but people believe it is because of famine. That's why they have so many wives. No.
It wasn't, yes.
You know, this issue of sex is not something that people discuss openly.
Absolutely.
So if I have issues with my eyes or with my hair, I can say it on air as we're talking now. But this place, they call it the private part, that people find it hard sometimes to confide in their doctors and nurses.
Not in their doctors, in their pastors, in their imams.
So you see pastors, imams, just like you said, coming out to tell you that it takes wisdom for them to resolve issues around this. Because husband and wife fights, they come to these religious leaders to report, and then the religious leader is asking, okay, so what's the problem? Is your wife promiscuous? Is she not responsible? Is she not this? The husband says, no, my wife is good. She's responsible. She cooks at the right time. She cleans the house. She does this. So what's the problem? So they say it takes wisdom for them now to now think in that direction, to now be able to understand that, okay, so this is the main issue. And so if you trace it, most time, they can be traced to female genital mutilation. Remember, people don't have the knowledge about all of these things.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is Solutions Clinic right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9, and we're talking about the dangers of female genital mutilation. If you have a question in that regard, do also send me a message via WhatsApp to 0904 422 2939. You can also call the studio lines. The numbers are 0909 888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Okay, those are the lines to call into the studio regarding, the dangers of female genital mutilation. If you've experienced it or you know someone who has, and you have questions in that regard, I'm also live on Facebook, so do all to drop your comments on the Facebook platform. Now, you've at the course of our conversation this morning, you've mentioned, some of the dangers and some of the myths of female genital mutilation. And you talked about, how one of the myths, they say if they don't cut it off, it will be a challenge during childbirth. So I want to also understand if there's a consequence for female genital mutilation during childbirth.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Okay. Let's take this call. Let me. Hello. Good morning to you. Okay, this is not for me. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so during childbirth, there are so many consequences that has to do with FGM during childbirth. So number one of which is prolonged labor. Okay, so the female genitalia is designed in such a way that by God. Yes, because when I say designed, not by man.
Of course.
Okay, so by God to be able to expand during childbirth, so that baby can come out during childbirth. But what happens most of the time when circumcision has been done is that a part is cut away, the clitoris most of the time, and then it's being cut with the prepuce, which are the fleshes surrounding the clitoris. And so when this is done, by the time it heals up, it becomes a scar. And so a scar doesn't expand. And by default, it's designed to expand. But because it's been cut and then healing up, it becomes a scar. So the elasticity limit of that particular organ has been reduced, and then so the woman is there during prolonged labor. So doctors and nurses, midwives will have to do a whole lot of work to be able to see that they assist the baby in coming out. And most of the time, that's why some people experience tears in that particular place. And so, if luck runs out, because it's a case I've seen. Okay, so this woman, she was taken to a traditional birth attendant, which are not professional doctors or nurses, and then during childbirth she has prolonged labor. And you know, it's a community where it's believed that if you cannot give birth on your own, that you do CS, then what do we call it? You are lazy. So it's part of their cultural belief in that particular community. So as a woman, you must give birth on your own.
Yes.
So if you have done CS, you have stressed your husband.
You have
So you have a stigma waiting for you in the community. You'll be described that as a lazy woman.
Yes.
Okay, so now she has to go into that prolonged labor. Remember, her genitalia has been mutilated. And so she started laboring. And, you know, by the time luck will run out, the baby's head had to, she experienced what is called fistula. Because they just tell her, they keep telling her to push. And then so the private partner now gave way, and, you know, that
say it in Yoruba if you have
ó
to.
jápọ̀ mọ́ ilé ìtọ̀ àti bí ìyàgbẹ́. That's what is called fistula. So the three parts now, Chief, give me the English.
The linkage. So you know, there is a separation between those
them.
parts.
But during the time that she was being asked to push,
it got burst.
those posts had to burst, and then she couldn't control the urination and feces anymore, and the baby eventually died because the baby. Okay, so the woman that will be stigmatized as a lazy woman was eventually taken out to hospital when it was late, when the traditional birth attendant had to come out to say, I cannot handle this case anymore. The baby is already dead inside of her. So they had to do evacuation. And then imagine the lot of money, the pains for reconstructive surgery to correct that fistula. So those are some of the consequences that has to do with that FGM can cause during childbirth.
Now, with this description, because this is a very gruesome one that you've described, I believe there's a law in Nigeria that bans this practice. However, we still have people practicing it. So let's talk about the law.
Yes, thank you. There's what we call the VAP Act law, which make it a criminal offense for anybody aiding, abetting, or practicing female genital mutilation. Well, like we said already, female genital mutilation is of no benefit of medical. It's of no benefit medical benefit. But often than not, you know, because this is being done in private, they are not often got arrested and being punished.
Zero prosecution.
Zero prosecution. As to date, we still have zero prosecution. But it's still a criminal offense. Whatever, if you are caught, you're going to be prosecuted because you have committed a crime against somebody. You are violently, you know, injured or devalued or brought risk upon somebody. And this is where every one of us must able to come out and say something. When we see something or hear something about female genital mutilation, we must say something. We must not treat it as a family matter again. In fact, it has gone beyond family matter. When you look at the dangers that are inherent in female genital mutilations, in lieu of this, you know, we have training with the police, with the NCDCs, with the Amotekons, and other relevant people in the on ground, so that we could have a common stand. You know, because some people still think, it's my child now, she's my daughter now. Why can't I mutilate her?
Whatever I want to
do with her.
And which is sad because the people who practice this are people dear to you. The mother-to-child relationship.
And then most
families.
times it is done when the girl cannot even demand for her rights. So under the law, you know, you gave birth to her, but all of us we belong to the government.
Right.
Okay, so like he said in Oyo State, as well, the VAP Act that he talked about has been domesticated in the state. And so there are other laws like violence against women law that prohibits female genital mutilation. But so we have these laws in place, but it's disheartening to see that there are laws, but zero prosecution. And thank you to Solution FM and other media outlets like you that are going out to sensitize people, to disseminate these informations, to let people know. Okay, so of recent, a girl died in one of the communities not far from us, a 13-year-old girl, during his female circumcision.
At 13 years?
Yes. They do. You see, it's okay, so I think we didn't talk about age, where it's been done.
Yes.
Okay, so for some people, it is on the 8th day.
From 8 days on.
8 days on. Some people do from age 3 to 5, some 0 to 3. It depends. They can do it at any age.
And
even
so,
they do for adults.
Yes, a point of marriage.
Yes, at the point of marriage. Some, if you escape it during the point of marriage, they will do it for you during
Point
child
of birth,
labor.
yes.
Yes. Some people even cut twice. Okay, so when they do it for you on the 8th day, they will do it again when you want to give birth to your first child, because they believe there might be growths from what has been cut during the 8th day. So imagine all of these pains. And then if you look at the materials that they use for circumcision, you will be shocked, because they use anything sharp, any sharp object. Okay, so the local circumcisers, they have specialized knives that they use to perform FGM. Some people use blade, the blade we use in cutting our nails. Okay, some people use broken bottles. Broken bottle, they will break a bottle and then use the sharp part of the bottle to cut. Some people use iron sheets. So whatever
unsterilized,
yes, unsterilized object, whatever comes their way that can cut is whatever they use.
All right, I'll begin with taking your calls right now. That's why I find it very interesting that you say some of these things in Yoruba, because a lot of people would relate to it more. 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. You know, we're talking about people not being prosecuted or arrested even whilst this law has been domesticated, particularly in our home base here or your state. It brings me to the question about if we have international or regional institutions where people can reach out to for reference basis as to the elimination. Maybe I have a cause to call for an alarm that I saw a family practicing this and I'm against that movement. Is there a toll-free number or someone to call in that regard?
Yes, they are
free to line. I'll give to you before the end of the.
Okay.
Yeah, before the end
yes.
of,
So, but are there bodies? I mean.
Okay. Can I call the number?
Oh,
now?
of course, absolutely.
081 24 67 0069.
Okay, let's take this call. You call the number. Hello. 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 Yeah, good morning. Okay. All right, let's take the number again.
Okay. 081
081
24 67 00
69. So that's a toll-free number for people to call in a case where they find such a situation. But is there a body, let's say, an NGO or whatnot, is there a body that regulates things like this here in Oyo State?
There are lots of bodies that deals with it. Okay, so there are two bodies that we will say is
central.
At the central, which is the UNFPA and the UNICEF.
Okay,
so they have this as a joint program. Okay, so at state level, we have that's where we have a CET initiative, which Ifowolabi represents. I'm from Trailblazer Initiative Nigeria. We have the State Technical Committee in Oyo State, which is like the umbrella government agency that sees to this, which is the Oyo State Primary Healthcare Board is the convener, while we have the Ministry of Women Affairs as the co-convener. Okay, so under this State Technical Committee, there are other bodies like FIDA, that are Federation of Female Lawyers. We have Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Information, Education. You have NGOs, you have NMA, you have Midwives and Nurses Association, and other relevant agencies under the State Technical Committee on the elimination of female genital mutilation. Okay, so in Oyo State as well, there is a toll-free line that you can report this. Okay, so let's not forget to mention the Office of the First Lady as well, as one of the agencies channeling FGM in Oyo State. So before the end of the program, I will give out also the toll-free line.
If you have it, because
we're
State. Pressed for time already.
Okay,
if
sir.
the toll-free line is available, perhaps you just call it already. Well, this is still Solutions Clinic. We're talking about the dangers of female genital mutilation, and it's been quite an interesting conversation with a lot of revelations as to how, you know, this can be very, very dangerous for women and the girl child. What's even more scary is, you know, knowing that at 30, 35 childbirth, people still practice this unwholesome, activity. It's really worrisome, and that's why we're bringing this education, wide and broad, so people are very much aware of it. So I believe we'll have the number now.
Yes, 080 0400 4040.
Okay, let's take that again.
080 0400 4040.
All right, your final words, sir. Let's begin with you, Chief Owolabi, on ending female genital mutilation.
Yes, female genital mutilation has become a public health, and everybody must be a stakeholder. Like, thank God for you people bringing us, enlightening people, and making people to know that the consequence of female genital mutilation. So when we say something, we must say something. We must be proactive in ending female genital mutilation.
All right, over to you, sir, Mr. Dari.
Okay, so for me, I would say, please drop the knife. Let's give our girls education. FGM doesn't curb promiscuity. It is the morals that you pass on to your daughters, to your girls, that determines whether they will be promiscuous or not. We have seen people that are circumcised that are promiscuous. We have seen people that are not circumcised that are not promiscuous. So then the question will now be, what is missing? It is the question of education and good morals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I must say thank you for joining us this morning to talk about this very interesting and quite educative conversation on ending female genital mutilation. Chief Owolabi Abayomi, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And Dari Olagoke,
thank
really
you for
appreciate
having me, sir.
All right. This is how we draw the curtains on Solutions Clinic this morning. We hope with all that we've said this morning, you also contribute your quota in ending female genital mutilation. My name is Victor Richard. I'll talk to you next week, Monday.
Yes, I'm Amade Rinke-Olutayo. I'm UNICEF FGM consultant for Southwest. Female genital mutilation, like I said, it's an Afro-traditional practice, and it is entrenched in social norm. It is actually a procedure that involves the partial and total removal of female external genitalia for non-medical reasons. And of course, before we know it, that it has great consequences and long-term and short effects. My message is, let us stop female genital mutilation today. Together, we can actually end it. And let's throw away the blades and save the life of the girls. Today, let us join our hands together and say no to female genital mutilation.